What's up, you guys? Today's video is kind of a special one because I am recreating my very first look that I did here on my YouTube channel 2 years ago. That's right, it's this look here. It's a very green, very dramatic. I used my own BYOP, so I did a video where I put this BYOP together, but my very first makeup look that I do on camera on my channel is using it, so we are just recreating that today with these colors. It's very glittery, very dramatic, very green. So I thought it would be fun to mark the 2-year anniversary of that video and kind of my channel and just recreate it today. That video was such a mess. I didn't know where to start or what to do or how to film, and even after I did it, like, I knew it was trash, but I just was like, you gotta start somewhere, you know? So I think I'm looking in my dirty little grummy camera and to my dirty little grummy mirror, and the sound is bad. I'm pretty sure it didn't autofocus the whole time. That camera I was using at the time didn't have autofocus, and it didn't have like a little screen to look into, so it was just like a guessing game. And yeah, the video footage is just awful, but you gotta start somewhere, and so I just figured, the only way to figure out how to make it better is just to see where I'm at, and even though it's really, really bad, it's like, okay, what can I do? Moral of the lesson is you gotta start somewhere, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of redo the look of the equipment and the setup I had, which still isn't perfect by any means, but it is better, and it just sort of like, how it started, how it's going after 2 years of doing makeup looks on my channel. So I just thought it would be fun to bring back a little BYOP I did of some yellow and chartreuse and recreate the look and just see where we're at and how it's going. So thank you so much for staying tuned to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into the look. Okay, so to get started on this look, I'm going to work this brown and this deep smoky color into the crease and basically contour right here. And then we're going to do somewhat of a cut crease situation with my Milk Jumbo pencil from NYX. And we're going to work some yellows and this chartreuse color onto the lids. So let's get started. I'm going to start with Buzzkill, this kind of mustardy shade. And I'm really just using this as my transition tone and buffing that and diffusing it over where my natural crease is, and then into the natural crease too. I'm just going to gently kind of wing that out and blend it out when there's less pigment and color on my brush. So basically the whole upper half of my lid has a nice diffused warm tone. And then I'm going to go in with this smoky shade and a smaller, fluffier brush. And just very gently contour just right here, very, very slightly. And it is quite dramatic. And then I'm going to do the same in my natural crease here. I'm not going to go too high up because I don't want to close the shade in. It just adds a little depth to the outside of my lid. And I'm mostly just like patting it with what was left over. And for my eye shape, I want to be careful not to go too far out, at least right now with this deep shade, because I want to keep that lifted effect on my lid. I'm going to take this white jumbo pencil, clean it off a little bit, and I'm just going to draw in like a cut crease. I'm just drawing in that cut crease. It doesn't have to be perfect just yet. I'm going to pat it out with my finger and use a small brush to clean up the edge. You can use concealer for this step as well. I just like the yellows to be nice and bright. Once I approach that black, I am going to calm down because once I pat everything out, it will kind of blend into that. So for now, I'm just going to use my finger and the warmth of the finger to just gently press that in, kind of smooth out. Start to bring it into the outside edge of my lid. Take this clean little dome brush and run it along the edge. And into that. Something like that. Now with the small flat brush, I'm going to start working in this very bright yellow called Sweet Spot from the Aha Honey ColourPop palette. These are all really good yellows in that palette if you were able to get your hands on it. The ColourPop yellows in general are pretty good. I think I even decluttered my MAC yellow, which was my best at the time when I got that palette because these were just as good and better. Yellow's still finicky, but okay, so it's gonna take a little bit because like I said, yellow's still finicky, but we are just going to pack on that yellow. I'm gonna start with just doing it on the outsides, inside and outside of where I placed that primer down. And the reason I like doing chartreuse looks and using yellow in them is because of the color interaction or color theory. With the chartreuse that I have, it's very yellow leaning, and so when I add yellow to it, it actually pushes it to more green, which is what I like. I want more of that like green chartreuse versus a yellowy gold shimmer. So adding this in, it's just sort of the side by side tricks our eyes and pushes it to more of the green tone that I'm looking for. So I'm really going to start to work on the edge, placing that color right up to that smoky shade. And then I want a fluffy brush, but nothing too oversized, and I'm going to use this other yellow shade. It's called Oh Behave, and it's just more of a pastel-y yellow. Yes, it's kind of small, a little flat, but it's still fluffy. That's just going to keep me from like overdrawing. And that's just going to brighten up here, blend out that yellow, and meet it into that mustard shade. I'm going to do the same thing right up above this black. I'm basically placing the colors side by side. I'm not trying to mix into anything too much with this particular look and these colors together. So something like that. I'm going to go back into that smoky shade and just redefine it a bit. Like I said, this look is dramatic. And I really want it to look more linear and defined here, and then as it goes further out my lid, I want it to be more blended and soft. So I'm going to kind of go up into the brow as there's less powder on my brush, and then start to kind of color it this way. I'm starting to add a little bit more lift to the dark shade on this side of my eye. I am not connecting these, I just don't want to for this particular look. I want to keep that yellow in the middle and keep everything nice and lifted. Okay, now we are going to go in with the star of the show in my opinion. This is Rosé All Day. It's an old one from ColourPop and it's a really pretty chartreusey color. And that is going to go all over the lid. and overlap it just a tiny bit over the yellow too. Last but not least for the look, I'm going to go back into that first mustard shade, Oh Behave, and just fluff that over everything and blend it out. On the outside, into the brow, and that just kind of marries everything together. It's just part of that back and forth business as well. The underside, I'm just going to do this smoky shade and buff it with the mustard shade. For the inner corner, I am going to do this shimmery shade called, I think, Sunburst from ColourPop. And then I'm also going to highlight my brow with this light champagne shade called My Treat. And then we're going to tap it with some glitter. So I'm just going to go in with this bright yellow first, and then the black on the outside. Just to kind of define the lower lash line just a little bit. Bring some of that smoky shade to the bottom. I'm going to buff it out with that mustard shade just under those two colors. Just kind of placing them side by side, not doing a whole lot of blending into each other because of most of these shades are from the Honey palette and they're all tones of yellow. They kind of do the work for me as far as blending together. I think in my original look I used this olive, this sumptuous olive from MAC, and I used it on my top lid, kind of in here, but I think for this one I'm actually going to change it up and use it on my bottom lash line. Ooh yeah. It's like a really pretty olive that has still like a brown neutral base to it. I'm just going to use that mostly on the inside. And the brow bone. I don't always like a sparkly brow bone, but this look is so like dramatic. I kind of like it. And then that Starburst shade right here in the inner corner. And that Starburst is like a yellow with like a green flip. It's really cool. So something like that. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll be right back to finish up this look. Okay, just added some black to the bottom lash line. This is just called Black, and it's the Endless Silky Eye Pen by Pixie Beauty. And then last, from this little color combo, I'm going to do the shade Palooza, which is this chunky yellow glitter. And if glitter's not your thing, you can just skip this part. This look is so dramatic and extra. And so we're going to be extra. It's this yellow flaky glitter with kind of greenish tealy reflex. We're just going to pop that right in the middle of the lid. Kind of all over that chartreuse color. You know, we're going to put it down and then cover it up. I just like the extra dimension when I'm going this dramatic. And the ColourPop glitters are not advised on the eyes. I don't know. Glitter in the eyes is pretty dangerous, so they sell them but then say don't use them. I use them. Glitter glue would be extra. Make sure it's extra tacky, but it does come with like a tacky base, so you don't necessarily have to use it. So yeah, you can see the difference. Just adds a little more reflectivity and dimension. And then I think that chartreuse color and the yellow just play off of each other, and it really pushes that chartreuse to like more of a lime green, I think. And then this inner corner, oh my gosh, so pretty. It looks a lot more green. These colors, probably just the way I pressed it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other eye and add some mascara and we'll be all done. Okay, so what do you guys think of this look? It is very dramatic compared to stuff I normally do. I don't usually use glitters. I don't usually deepen with like a dark black smoky shade. This is just super fun. I think fake lashes would definitely go with this look. I don't have the time. I gotta go make breakfast. So yeah, but I thought it would be so fun to just recreate something I did first on my channel and do it better. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Thanks for watching this video and being here. I appreciate you guys so much. And if you want to hang out with me more throughout the week when I'm not posting on YouTube, go check out my Instagram and connect with me there. My handle is the same as it is here. I'm Mad Hatter. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.